Internet, what's going on? Aaron here, and today it's quick fixes and why they don't work. You should not look for them, how to identify them, and best of all, why this is a belief that is more or less toxic. Just get rid of it. There's no substitute for hard work in most situations. And let's jump in. I have some books here to help me explain the idea. I think it'd be best if I go through these first and then explain some of my own personal experiences afterwards. So number one, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Listen to Warren Buffett. He knows what he's talking about. Habits are ultimately what determine where all your time goes. And if you do not master your habits, you kind of don't really have control over your life. Habits are difficult. They take work. They take a long time to form. They take even longer to break. And they need to be done in a systematic, calculated way. If you don't become aware and control your habits, what happens is you tend to form habits that follow a path of least resistance, as in eating a bag of chips for supper is a path of least resistance, is a bad habit, not very good. It's very rare that a good habit comes for free. One example would be like brushing your teeth, but in most cases it takes hard work, and the idea is there's no quick fix for that. You can't just like, oh, now I'm going to the gym every day. You have to put in the effort. Perennial seller. The idea of a quick fix would make this book not even make sense. Literally every reference culturally in the book comes from a massive amount of effort. These things do not happen by accident. It's really a situation that takes a lot of, not a situation, but it's a product of a massive effort. There's a formula for things that keep selling forever. I've done a review on this book. You can check that out on the link below. But the idea is that it takes a lot of thought and effort and many correct conditions that do not come randomly or by chance or because, oh, just get a really good editor and your book will sell great, or just do this. It's not how it works at all. MJ DeMarco, Millionaire Fastlane, plants the idea multiple times throughout the book that if you have this mindset of, oh, I'm just going to do this thing and it's going to happen quickly and easily, especially that part, total bogus. Okay, there is a way of becoming a millionaire at a young age, and that way is through deliberate, concerted, hard work. You need to be comfortable with doing that if that's what you want, and there are many examples of people who have thought otherwise and failed. Chris Hadfield became an astronaut through hard work. You can check out his book and you will learn that it is a recurring theme to sweat the small stuff and put in massive amounts of effort. You just can't do it through quick fixes or being lucky or being born into the right family or something like that is simply not enough. There's things that will help you, but at the end of the day, you have to put in the effort to get the results you want. Elon Musk is, and many other CEOs for that matter, are targets for people who will say things like, oh, he got lucky, or he was in the right place at the right time, or he started that idea but it could have failed, or whatever you want to say. The reality is that this is like the definition of hard work. This guy puts in massive action in all of his businesses and the things that he has done, and he has reaped the results. As a counter argument to there's no quick fix, look at what happens to the people who put in huge amounts of effort. It's beautiful, but also kind of ridiculous at how consistently massive effort will deliver great results. And then that brings me to some of my favorite books by Grant Cardone. He is also putting that idea down as hard as he can. The entire book, really, just the idea, the 10x rule, talking about how if you want to guarantee success, then you put in 10 times the amount of effort that you would have initially thought that it would take to do something, or you think in terms of 10x. If you want to run a marathon, try to run 10 marathons, and now you have a pretty good chance at running one marathon. If you want to write a book, consider how it would feel or what the process would be to write 10 books, and now you understand what it means to write one successful book. Be obsessed or be average is kind of an extension of that. If you really want to be proficient in what you're doing and you want it to work well, you want this stuff to happen, you want to have success, you want your life to be in order, you want to be happy, have the make your dreams come true, you got to get obsessed with that stuff, put in huge amounts of effort, be thinking about it all the time, just putting in your divine creativity and putting that in as much and hard as you almost possibly can without making the rest of your life suffer. These are ideas that are very powerful. A lot of people won't follow them, and unfortunately they will be seduced by quick fix mentalities, and they will never be able to understand the kinds of things they could have achieved in their life had they become aware of, well, the rest. Everything Store, Jeff Bezos, is a guy who did not get lucky. He didn't just make a company and order people around forever. That's not how it worked. He was a guy similar to Elon Musk in the sense that he had put in huge amounts of effort doing the packaging on the floor of a warehouse with a couple of people. This is how it started. He climbed up one rung at a time, was there every single step along the way. None of that is luck. None of that is quick fix. It's hard work, and well, there you have it. Some of my own personal ideas on the matter are, let's say, as somebody might think, I'll get rich by winning the lottery. That's a quick fix, right? And it's not, because if you look at people who win the lottery, a lot of them can't handle managing that kind of money, even if they already are millionaires and they win more millions. It's something like, I guess it's kind of like easy come, easy go, I guess, or I don't know what it is, but for some reason it doesn't work. These people tend to either end up losing all their money, committing suicide, or being directly involved with other people's death because of sharing the money or jealousy or problems like that, or some combination of all of those. And this is a perfect example to me to explain to somebody how if you're having problems in these areas that you can't quick fix it with winning the lottery. That's just not how it works. People who have accumulated large amounts of wealth have done so because they educated themselves, read books on it, did what they had to do to get the things they want. And really maybe there are some exceptions to that rule. I guess the classic example to break the statement is, well, what about those guys? Not everybody just loses all their money or ends up dead, right? What about the people who win the lottery and then quadruple their money and etc.? And if somebody did that, I would justify it by saying that they already put in the effort to be able to conduct themselves like that. In which case, it gives the appearance of a quick fix, when in reality, that wasn't the case. Another prime example is right now there are so many people trying to consume books by a summary, or apps out there that will condense a whole book into 7 minutes of just the very most detailed and not detailed, let me think about that, concise, juicy, the key points right there you have it. And it's true. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, you could probably turn this book into a 7-minute summary. But if you consume that 7-minute summary, it will not hold a candle. It won't hold a grain of salt to the benefits of focusing on the content of the book for 20 hours and consuming the whole thing in all of its richness and gaining all of those little examples that you can then associate your ideas with, convince yourself further that they are correct or real or have a meaningful impact. And good luck remembering in 6 months that 7-minute summary. On the other hand, I read this book 2 years ago, and hey, I'm planning to do a review on it, and I'm not going to be rereading the book. I can tell you right now, what I remember is a lot. And so for that, it's really just ridiculous to think that you can like reap the benefits of the effort of somebody who read the book in like 7 minutes, or that even is close to the real thing. I think that if you were going to do that, it would make sense if you had already read the book and you use that 7-minute thing as like a re-jog or a refresher. But it really it does not even compare at all. And the last example I would say is just kind of more generally, right? Like I think that it's kind of a stretch, but personally, I make the association with the first law of thermodynamics that says you cannot create or destroy energy. It can only change form. And information is arguably kind of sort of like energy in that sense. Trust me, it's a stretch. I know, I get it, but just hear me out here. If you, for example, let's use that 7-minute summary. If you try to compare the amount of effort it takes to reconfigure your brain and make all those connections and learn the information and contemplate the ideas of this book that would happen over 20 hours into a 7-minute summary, you're cheating yourself, right? It doesn't make sense. You can't do that. There's just so much effort in one, and in 7 minutes, you just can't, even if you're operating at 100%, you cannot match the impact even closely. Or another example would be, let's say going to the gym. You want to make those gains quick. You want those fast results, so you take supplements, maybe even some a little bit more riskier stuff. Who knows? Does this actually work? Well, you know what it does? You will get your gains. You will get large quick, but it will come with negative side effects, or you will not have created the discipline to do so, or you will be able to have this short-term spike of confidence and like, wow, look what I did in just 3 months. But after that, it's going to be very hard to be motivated to continue that going, because, well, that burst of energy and that new rush is going to wear off, and all of a sudden now you realize it actually takes a lot of work to maintain that. And I've seen this happen so many times amongst people I know, or people I kind of know, or friends or whatever, where they'll do that spike quick fix kind of thing to just, I'll boost it up, it's going to be great, and then it is great, and then it's not great because they can't maintain it. And this is where I say, like, there's really no quick fix. And how does that relate to the first law of thermodynamics? Well, the impact of the discipline and the effort that you're putting in and doing to your body it's an energy equation. It takes energy to make those physiological changes in both your muscles and, of course, in the configuration of your brain and your experiences, your memories, and all these things take effort and time. And if you try to short circuit that, you might give the appearance of somebody who's been working out for 20 years, but in reality, the results and the impact that it will have will not even come close. And if you try to translate those skills and benefits into something else, like longevity or discipline in another field, like maybe just reading books, for example, it won't work because it was never there to begin with. And so on that note, if you disagree with any of the ideas, or you think maybe there's some examples of where quick fixes really do work, leave a message in the comments below and let me know what you think. I would love to have a civilized discussion about it if maybe we have contrasting views on the matter. Or if you agree, also explain why you personally believe that hard work is the only way to go. It's a nasty thing to have to come to grips with, because maybe at some point in your life you thought that there was a chance of getting these kinds of big results easily, and then when you realize that this isn't true, it kind of can be a little bit of a depressing thing to realize. But hear me out, there's something great that comes if you hold this belief, and that is you get a new lens to filter all the garbage with. When you see quick, get rich quick stuff, you just know immediately, it doesn't work. Winning the lottery would get me rich quick, but it wouldn't work, right? Or starting a company gets really big fast. Well, maybe that's actually possible. A very slim chance, but maybe that's possible, but it probably won't last because it's grounded on things that are trending, or maybe you don't even know how to handle it. or etc. And if you think about it this way, you can quickly identify people that maybe are thinking that way as well. And you consider, hey, what kind of mindset do I want to have? And where are they coming from? Are they credible to be talking about what they're talking about? Did they really put in the work and the effort? And this will act as an excellent kind of like a lie detector, truth detector, because everybody wants to share advice these days. Everybody wants to seduce you into their marketing scheme or their plan or all the ads and stuff you see and all these things. And you can think of, you just look through that lens of hard work. You say, will this be coming from, I don't know, somebody who's worked hard, or will it help me to achieve what I want through hard work, or is it a shortcut, a gimmick that will, it will help you filter that out. Because let's face it, people will try to have quick fixes for their relationship problems, for their money problems, for their car, for their living situation, for their education, their career. Everybody wants a quick fix. And if you just accept the fact that there's no quick way out, that's really good. Maybe you can quickly change job, but you're not going to quickly become an excellent painter or something like that. Then you'll start to appreciate, first of all, other people who have done that properly, but you will also be able to actually set yourself up to get and have what you want in life, because, well, let's face it, the quick fix traps you, because you kind of end up back where you started when it eventually doesn't work out. You try to quick fix your relationship by taking your partner out on a date, when in reality the problem was that you're not considering your partner's XYZ, and then that date gives a quick fix, but at the end of the day that XYZ problem is still there. Quick fix doesn't work. Let me know what you think. Like the video, please, if you're excited with the ideas, if they've helped you out in some small way, and if you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about philosophy, which helps set you up for success, medicine, business, and money. And if those are topics that are interesting to you, I'm sure that you will love some of my other videos. I review a lot of these books, as well as talk about things you can do to help make that journey of not being seduced into a quick fix, but actually putting the hard work more enjoyable, more fun, little tips that will help you get there. And I'm sure that by checking out some of that content, you will find a couple gold nuggets that will help you on your route. Cheers, until next time.